guess what? I got a fever.
You give me fever.
You must be a bad person.
I must be, man. I mean, I'm worse than Jeff Bezos of all people.
He looks like a penis with ears. I don't have a very good segue from penis with ears to anything that I want to talk about on the show sheet.
I do. Dan Campbell
is a dick. Is that
Dan Campbell is a penis with ears? Absolutely.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, dude! Can you just goddamn give DeAndre Swift the carries that he deserves, just right as a human being?
So, please mark this date, March 15th, 2023. My little Swifter heart. This is not so much a reaction to Monty greater than sign Jamal Williams, because I think in some ways that's not even true. But it's a reaction to the reality that I have been late and slow to come to terms with DeAndre Swift.
Same.
I do think, and maybe this is my bias because I love him so much, there's a case to be made that, well, at this point, wait till he's a free agent, see if he gets a better situation, right? Because I think he's a free agent after this year, and I guess they could do the 5th year thing, right? But
wait,
man, I don't know.
He didn't go in the first. He didn't go in the first round. He was
that's right. That's right. He was early second, right? Okay, so yeah, so he's a free agent after this year.
I can't wait.
I don't expect him to come back, right? But I think it's also important that we note that when he goes to a new team, there is more ceiling, upside, optimism, but in context, right? Like, he's not a workhorse. I don't know that anybody ever thought he was. He's not a workhorse.
No, but he deserves more than 8 touches a game.
He does. And I'm just saying, know what you're buying, right? If you're buying low for, the free agency later, know what you're buying. I was just reading something actually before we hopped on, and the person was, sort of pointing out that Swift was making some sort of, like questionable decisions, and kind of like wasn't reliable to make the right cuts and do the design play the way it was supposed to, and that limited his touches. Whereas Williams, they could just kind of rely on it, and so I just kind of know what you're getting, right? He's explosive and can be efficient with his touches as far as like, yards per or whatever, but just know what you're getting. I don't know. Like, is not to go off on a tangent. We've talked about rookies for fucking 3 months already, but is that a cautionary tale for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was just thinking about that. So team and scheme specific, as Cosell always says in his save cadence. But I mean, yeah, man, what if DeAndre Swift is a free agent next year and goes to the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with what they did with Jerick McKinnon, God damn, that could just be to the moon. And really, I don't think I would ever find out on any of my teams because I'd have to trade him because he'd be worth so much with that landing spot, right?
So I think, yeah. Well, but then again, you never know, right? Like, because some of these coaches, the way they use running backs these days, I don't know. Like, Pacheco will still be under contract. Edwards-Helaire, who knows, his contract will be out by then. I don't think they're going to give him the 5th year.
Yeah, he was a first rounder. Same year.
And I don't know, right? Like, you could see him being one of like 95 running backs that the Chiefs use, and none of them really being all that attractive.
I just made up my mind. I'm going to find my free James Brown t-shirt, and I'm going to cross out James Brown and write it DeAndre Swift.
Free James Brown?
Yeah. You remember that? When he was in jail for tax evasion?
Wasn't he in jail for beating somebody up? Like a woman? James Brown?
I thought it was tax evasion.
Mm.
That's why people want to know.
Maybe he was in jail for tax evasion, but he also did do the other thing. I don't know.
He definitely was a horrible, horrible person. And it wasn't just women that he treated terribly. He was just very, 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 just an awful person.
Too hot for the hot tub.
Yeah.
Another old people reference.
Yeah. 1981 Saturday Night Live reference right there.
So Monty gets a pretty good offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
you know,
it's a
and
really nice boost for Monty. To be honest.
I think he's gonna, he'll get a little more receiving work than Williams did, but I don't think it's gonna necessarily really have too much of an effect on Swift. Like I said at the beginning of all this, my Swifter heartbreaking is just late.
It just means the same thing that happened last year could absolutely happen again.
Yeah, and probably will. You're gonna see like 10
to the level it was happening at the end of the year, though, was ridiculous. I mean, I wanted to go drop my garbage in Dan Campbell's front yard. Yeah. I mean, really, it's probably the offensive coordinator, but whatever.
But maybe they were kind of right about him, like, I don't know.
He needs more carries than he needs more touches than what he was getting. Plain and simple. Guy's electric.
Yeah, he is. But I think essentially he's going to get about 10 touches a game again. And I don't know that. I think this is one of those situations where I don't know that Williams and Montgomery and their effect on Swift, as much as Williams and Montgomery are slightly different players, I don't think their effect on Swift is all that different. I think what you're going to see here is less of like, I don't know, whoever, like fucking Justin Jackson and Craig Reynolds or whoever, right? And so all that to say, maybe take advantage of some panic sell on Swift. I threw out a few buy low offers, nothing insulting. Buy low offers, didn't get any bites. I think people are kind of too smart, really, at this point.
What did 111? Would you take 111 if I offered that?
Would I take 111 for Swift?
Yeah, this is probably roughly the area you could get.
I mean, that's probably fair. I mean, he's probably worth like between, I don't know, 111, but probably closer to like 204. Yeah. And so yeah, I would take that. I would take that and immediately try to trade it because I don't like who's on the draft board at 111. But yeah, no, yeah, I think I would take that because let's say our dream scenario happens and he goes from 10 touches a game to 15, 18 touches a game, but he's doing so on his second contract and he's older and like, are you getting much more than 111 for him then? I don't know. It's kind of a whole lot of kind of like wishing, hoping, and thinking and praying. So if you can get that now, yeah, I don't know that you can. Yeah. I was roughly, I think, offering like, the equivalent of like 2 late seconds and not getting much, not much.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think people are just like, I might as well hold.
Might as well hold, yeah. There's no upside to that trade.
Let's see. Speaking of Monty to the Lions,